All right, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Fans Union for the fans by the fans. I got my brother Logan here with me tonight, my
Yes,
friend.
sir. So Super
It's
Bowl week.
this is a super episode to say the
Yeah,
least.
super.
Yes, guys, there's no hiding it. This week is the week of the Super Bowl, upcoming. The Patriots and the Seahawks, both teams 14-3. So, and we're gonna get into it. A lot of similarities in these teams where you I guess could assume because they're both in the Super Bowl, but maybe some you didn't see coming. I'm gonna look at those and kind of take an in-depth look. Of course, give predictions, and we'll be a little. I hate like the timing, how the timing of this works because we'll have this out Thursday morning, and I'm pretty sure tomorrow night is when they do the MVP awards and like the MVP, all defensive player, etc. Um, so that'll We'll have I guess we'll have two episodes worth of content next week. Episode reactions or award reactions, and of course covering this game.
So
So,
MVPs are announced tomorrow too, right?
yeah, it's the NFL honors.
Drake might get him a little chip on his shoulder after tomorrow night.
If you're referring to him wanting to prove that he's MVP, I think so because
Yeah,
I,
that's
I think we
exactly what.
both have a inkling that Stafford's going to win.
Yeah,
Um,
same.
Before we get into that, I got an exercise to take us through, like I've been doing. But Logan, I know you said you had something for me, so I want to
Yeah,
get
got a little
tested.
exercise. I just want to get your brain flowing. I didn't know it was just gonna be us two, so I was gonna do it as a crowd, but I still got confidence that you can do this fairly quickly. So, with it being the Super Bowl week, I got a little Super Bowl trivia going here. Okay,
I love this.
there's been and this is gonna be it's not a hard one, but it's a little exercise. There's been 12 teams in the NFL to never win the Super Bowl. Can you name all 12? And actually, hold on. Before you even start, I got the list in front of me. I'm gonna just check them off as we go to make sure we won't miss nothing.
Okay, so I got 12.
There's 12, which is
All right, here.
crazy because there's 32 teams in the league.
I'm gonna time myself.
A
I want to see how long
third,
this is.
a third of the league, over a third of the league has not won a Super Bowl, bro. We need some more parity in the
Yeah,
NFL. And we got two teams who we've seen in our lifetime win a Super Bowl playing for the Super Bowl.
yeah, and there's also teams who have never even been to one, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So, all right, here I'm gonna give myself 2 minutes, and we're gonna
Okay.
go. Okay,
Let's see.
Falcons,
Yep.
Vikings,
Yep.
Cardinals,
Yep.
Lions,
Yep.
Texans,
Yep.
Jags,
Yep.
Jags. Let me think. Browns.
Yep.
Okay, so what? That's 7.
Yep. 7.
Browns. Panthers.
Yep.
Okay.
Got a good pace going.
Yeah. That's 8. So I only have 4 more. Wow. Okay. Cardinals. Trying to think it through
Going
divisions.
through the divisions. I see what you're doing here. Smart move.
Yeah. Let's see. The entire NFC East is 1, so we can throw them out. Jets have 1. Dolphins have 1. Bengals. Bengals never have won.
Yep.
I already said Vikings, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's why I started crossing them out to make sure that we didn't start renaming teams.
All right.
I literally wrote them down for that instance.
Titans. Did I already say Titans?
Nope. You said Texans, not Titans.
Okay.
But yeah, they're both right. Down to 2.
Bills.
There you go. You were all around that division earlier, and I was like, "Oh my god, the Bills, bro!"
Yeah,
you got one left.
Obvious one. Is this one like? Come on, you've gotten all these and you haven't gotten this one, or is this kind of like the?
This team's been pretty good in our lifetime, so they've had some good runs, great players. So I don't look at them as a poverty franchise. I wouldn't say.
All right.
Let me know if you want a hint, and I'll go vague to start.
Okay, just give me a vague hint.
They made the playoffs this year, so at least eliminates half the field.
Okay.
As far as teams, obviously.
Yeah. I already said Detroit, right?
Yep.
Okay, now they didn't even make it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I said they didn't make playoffs, but
Yeah.
yeah, you just
Oh, Chargers.
yep. Boom. How many minutes you got left? How many seconds?
Uh, I
Had to
got two and
had
a
to
two
cut
and a
it
half
close.
minutes.
Oh, okay. I was saying you had to be cutting close to 2 minutes. I know you're somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You know
hey, shout
what?
out to you. You got it fairly quick.
Let me tell you what I respect about myself, and I'm gonna pat myself on the back here. I hate when people do I love the challenges that they'll do. They'll be like, name every team that has a bird in their logo or something like that, and then they'll name a bunch of teams that are wrong instead of just saying the right ones. You know what I mean? Like they'll
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
like they'll go, no, not the Jets, not the Colts, not the blah 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 blah, and I'm like, hey, this is cheating. You're just saying all the NFL teams till you get them all right.
Say, I heard you whispering to yourself a couple divisions.
Yeah,
I heard you give a Dolphins of one, Patriots of one.
yeah,
So, but hey, you're just thinking out loud. It is what it is.
yeah.
No harm, no foul.
So, well, that was
So
awesome.
now
I
you're gonna
really
make me
enjoyed
look
that.
an idiot.
Say what?
I said, now you're about to make me look an idiot because you did so well.
No, it's nothing like that. It's something that we've kind of done a little bit. Just I tried to find one most comprehensive, most recent. So this was made in 2023.
All
I'm
right.
gonna bring it to the screen. For those listening on audio, they're ranking all the Super Bowls ever. I'm not going to go through every one. A lot of these are blowouts. That's kind of how you see the lower ones. I tried to find one of the 21st century just because of those, we've probably been competent enough to watch. When I say competent, like to remember them,
Yeah.
all but like 5 or 6 of them. Myself, do you remember the first Super Bowl you watched?
First Super Bowl I remember watching is probably that I actually remember is probably I think it's '06 Colts Bears. Devin has to return opening kickoff. Peyton Manning won his first Super Bowl.
Yeah, so what that was the '06 season, '07 Super Bowl, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, '06 season. Yeah, yeah.
My first one was the Pats Panthers Janet Jackson Super Bowl.
Was that '04?
Yeah. God, I want to say
Which
yeah. 04 because
that would make
Patriots won
sense
in
because you're a couple
02.
years older than me, so that would make
Yeah,
perfect sense. Both are like 9 years old.
Patriots won in '02. Then the Bucks won the next year. Then Patriots. Yeah. So, 2004, and I remember my dad we watched it in my grandparents' living room, and I wasn't old enough to comprehend the nip flash at
Yeah,
the World Cup from Janet Jackson, but I do remember. I remember it being a really really close game to the end. Don't remember all the super finite details, but I remember watching that one. And honestly, I think I remember watching every Super Bowl since. I know that sounds crazy, but because the next year I remember I love the Eagles. I don't know why. I think it's because I love T.O. And for
they
my
lost.
birthday, maybe a month before the Super Bowl was even decided, I got a Donovan McNabb jersey. So I was really, really excited about that.
How crazy is that? That we watched Andy Reid get so close, not be able to do it for the Eagles, goes to the Chiefs, and now he's played the Eagles twice in the Super Bowl and split them, but still,
Yeah, it comes around and turns himself into a
yeah.
surefire Hall of Fame coach. But here,
Oh yeah.
we're gonna get into this list. Say what?
I said, oh yeah, no doubt, Hall of Famer.
And did you see
I would
Robert
say
Kraft?
first ballot, but apparently that doesn't exist today's age.
Yeah, he. Yeah, well, that's a whole other topic. But
Yeah,
here
exactly.
we're gonna go down this list right here. Again of this ranking on the Super Bowls. These are just first starting out with blowouts, so I'm not really gonna get into any of these at all.
Hey, you might as well
Obviously,
just scroll to top 10, brother.
yeah, exactly. So, but a lot of the 85 Bears, you got those games. I'm pretty sure the Broncos have lost the most Super Bowls of all time. I'm 90% sure. It's kind of insane what they've done, but a lot of. Let's get down to this one was the worst Super Bowl I remember watching. The Super Bowl, I don't even, what is that, 53? With the Pats and the Rams, where it was 13-3. Oh, that one was atrocious
Hey,
to watch.
I got one for you here because you just said this and it fits the bill for today's episode. So you said You think the Broncos have the most Super Bowl losses? You're
Yeah.
correct. They have 5 Super Bowl losses. Who are they tied with? I don't know if you'll get it. I don't know if I would get it. You think of this team as a winning franchise, not a losing
Yeah.
franchise.
Is it maybe the Chiefs?
Dude, it's the Patriots. They're 6-5 all
I was
time.
gonna say them next because I mean they've been the well they lost. They
This
lost
is
in
their 12th
95.
Super Bowl.
They lost in 95 to the Packers. They lost in 80 to the 85 Bears. And they lost to the Giants twice and then lost to
Shout out to
the
Eli.
Eagles.
Shout out to Eli. Look at the sign.
Yeah.
Hey, but how crazy is that we can name 12 teams that's never been in the Super Bowl, but we have a team playing for their 12th Super Bowl.
Well, a lot of those teams have been to the Super Bowl. They just haven't won it.
Yeah. Because the second most is showing the Bills and Vikings. Both are 0-4.
Yeah. So okay, look, this looks like where we start getting into some of the competitive games. Let's see. So 21 Super Bowl. God, I wish I could read Roman numerals. I want to say that's XLV. That's man, I'm not even gonna pretend to know it. But that was when I believe Aaron Rodgers got his ring. I remember watching that. I remember watching most of these, but here, let's get down. Let's get down to the top.
Right there. You just passed 0-4 when you're talking about.
Wow, I'm surprised they ranked that low. That game was awesome.
Yeah.
That game was so good.
Hey, the Colts are the Ravens Niners. That's the blackout game right there.
Yeah, that's when it went out. That was a really good game. Ray Lewis got his next ring.
Ravens led the Niners 28-6 in the third quarter when the lights went out.
Yeah.
I forgot, because the Niners came all the way back and then still lost it in the very end. I forgot about that. Baltimore Colts, what a time.
Yeah, and then number 14 is 2020 Super Bowl against the Chiefs and the Niners. Is it? Yeah, I remember that because I think they were down. I guess that makes sense. They were down 20-10 and then just freaking unravel.
Hey, right there, Giants Patriots is when Eli dethroned 9-7. First 9-7 team to ever win the Super Bowl. They dethroned the undefeated.
Yeah, that was, and I'm not even saying this to sound like I'm sliding Eli because I may be in another conversation, but not in this one. It's crazy how good that defense was. They shut down the best offense in NFL history to what? They had 10 points going into the fourth quarter. That's
Eli made the plays though.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I'm just simply bringing up the fact.
Helmet catch year. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, that's where he broke out of the crazy sack. Let's see what we're getting into. So, but the Super Bowl, the number 12 was the 2000 Super Bowl between the Rams and the Titans. Now that one I remember, or I don't remember watching it, but that's the one where you see, I think it's Kenny Dyson diving, trying to cross the ball over the goal line, ends up being short. That's where the Greatest Show on Turf wins their Super Bowl.
And I was in the Georgia Dome. I didn't know that.
Yep. Broncos, Packers, number 11. Number 10, Rams, Bengals. That was a great game. That was when Joe Burrow.
I forgot one, but I really wanted Burrow to win that one, dude.
Man, what really hurt me about that game was when Odell got hurt. When Odell got hurt after catching that touchdown, because that was kind of he finally got his moment to show, made a huge play, and then,
hey,
what happened there?
Speaking of this game, though, Cooper Kupp back in it. Mr. Kupp might get number 2.
I'm thinking so.
How would it be to see him go berserk out of nowhere, just like have a crazy good game out of nowhere, and then win another Super Bowl MVP? I mean, it's possible. He could go for 100,
Yeah, it's fitting.
I mean, it'd just be, they're over focused on JSN, and next thing you know, Cooper Kupp's running crazy. That'd be wild.
Well, number 9, the Pats' first Super Bowl win over the Rams is when they're driving down the field with time. I think it's tied. This is when Adam Vinatieri becomes Adam Vinatieri and ends up winning the Super Bowl. And that's when the Brady dynasty begins.
I would say that's the first one, right?
Yes, correct. Number 8, 1989 Super Bowl. The Niners and the Bengals. Niners ended up winning that one, of course, as we said, the Bengals, and not to mention the freaking Niners won 4 in the 80s. And then number 7, Giants and Bills. I think this is wide right. I'm pretty sure, or is maybe that's the Cowboys. I
I
think it's when
wasn't
they beat
alive in '91, so I don't even know.
Well, that's when the Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo went 4 times in a row. That's the most. Could you
Yeah,
imagine being a fan of a team that goes to the championship 4 times in a row, doesn't win one? I mean, the Braves. What they went to the World Series like
6 or
6
7
times
times in the '90s.
and won once. So, all right, number
This
6.
one,
This was a
hell
great
of a
one.
game.
This is decided by the pass interference at the end. Forget, I mean, it was Quinion Mitchell, I want to say, but that was a fantastic game. This is kind of when everybody started to hate Kansas City and was glad to kind of see them lose. Um,
No, they won.
I mean, I was saying everybody would have been glad to see them lose. Is
Oh,
what I
what
meant.
happened? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, my fault.
I didn't say
Misheard
that
you.
the first time. Okay, actually, no. So number 5 is the '08 Super Bowl, the one with where the 16-0 Patriots lose. The one that we saw above, that's the Mario Manningham one.
Okay, so this is the
Yeah.
Tyree catch?
Yes, correct. So that's the one where because I didn't
Oh,
think
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, it is '07 they were undefeated.
I didn't think they scored.
I was getting them flip-flopped.
And also, I mean, like I know it's all fans or butts at this point, but freaking Eli Manning, like the thing that I know, like with Patriots fans or Patriots fans I've talked to, is they have nightmares of Eli Manning throwing that ball right into Asante Samuel's chest and he drops it.
Yeah.
That's Imagine you have that on the last drive, and then instead you see arguably the best drive in the most famous drive in Super Bowl history.
Hey, my man Eli, baby. Hotty toddy.
Fair enough. All right, number 4. This is personally, I think the best Super Bowl I remember watching was the '09 Super Bowl with the Steelers and the Cardinals. This is when Larry Fitzgerald was taking over the world. He had that big touchdown and then just run like a slant over the middle. He outruns anybody. And then Big Ben orchestrates what I think is probably the best drive in Super Bowl history. Throws maybe the best throw in NFL history to Santonio
Right?
Holmes in the
Yeah.
corner. Yeah, that game right there was
Oh, it
unreal.
says it right there. Shit.
Does it say? Yeah.
Yeah. Because it looked like Kurt Warner was about to get another Super Bowl, and then also Larry Fitz. I mean, like you said, they put together a good drive. Looked like that could have been the one, but
Dude,
Big Ben had a better one.
Kurt Warner in those 1 or 2 years where the Cardinals went really far, because I want to say either this season or the next season, they beat the Packers in the Super Bowl or in the playoffs, the Cardinals, that is. And Kurt Warner had one of those. This was the first time I remember seeing one of those games where a quarterback has more touchdowns than incompletions. That dude was on fire, man.
And
And he
wasn't
kind of
Kurt
came
Warner
off
like
a
a
little
grocery
hiatus.
store? Wasn't Kurt like a grocery store clerk at one time? Like he had some
Yeah.
crazy story with that.
And then went to the Rams, played on arguably the
Yeah.
best team ever. So that's number 4. Number 3, Eagles beating the Pats in 2018. This is Nick Foles, Philly special. Man, I remember watching that at my apartment at West Georgia, and one of my buddy there was an Eagles fan, one was a Patriots fan, and I remember them driving down the field. I'm like, Tom Brady's going to find a way to make this happen, isn't he? And he throws that deep ball, and it just doesn't go. I'm pretty sure he broke the record for most passing yards in a game. Man, as it says right here, both teams combined for more than 1,000 yards of offense in the most prolific offense display in Super Bowl history, which ultimately that's what everybody wants to see.
Yeah, honestly, dude. I mean, defense is fun and all, but these kind of games are the ones that are like, oh yeah, just whoever has the ball last. It seems like.
Number 2, the Malcolm Butler interception game. Pats beat the Seahawks 2015, obviously a rematch of this weekend's game. Man, look, I went back and I rewatched a little bit of this game.
So did I. So did I. Yeah.
Okay, I personally don't think the Marshawn Lynch not getting the handoff is as big of a deal as everybody makes. Because
Oh yeah, you're crazy. I do.
Well, they snapped the ball with 20 seconds left. So you've got to either take that timeout or stop the clock because they have one timeout left. and I guess
Yeah.
really that would be the time to do it. But I also
You
I
run the
read something that
ball,
said
call a
hold
timeout, run the ball. Marshawn's getting in the end zone, bro.
Marshawn Lynch apparently. I remember reading something on ESPN or something like that. The ESPN guy said it. He was like the word, or he was a bottom 5 goal line rushing uh, rusher that year. Like when he put him on a goal line, he was one of the worst at getting in the end zone.
Bro, the play before that, they were like the 5 or 6, and he's the reason they got to the half-yard line. Because Beast Mode just plowed through the line and fell at the half-yard line. And then
What
you
I
throw
don't
it.
get, I mean, obviously it was a coaching folly, but I don't understand why it took so long or why they never call that timeout. You either
Yeah.
snap the ball quickly or call that timeout. One of the two.
Well, I mean, there's 20 seconds left. You just snap the ball, and it's a 5 to 6 second run play at most. You call a timeout, and then you have another Marshawn Lynch up the middle.
See, I don't.
But hey, here's the crazy thing: Malcolm Butler gets that pick right to seal the deal. He was an undrafted rookie, which I had forgot about that. He was an undrafted rookie, but then it was the play that put them down inside the red zone was a ball that he deflected, and it just landed in the receiver's lap. It was in the
Some of the curse, the curse catch.
curse. That's what it was. Yeah,
That was
curse.
I remember watching. I was like, they're gonna win this game. They're going to win this game.
So Malcolm Butler is the one that happens on, and then he comes through a few plays later and gets a game sealer and wins the Super Bowl from I think it's like from West Alabama. Like you know what I mean? Like
and then
nobody college.
And then famously doesn't play one snap in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. And for stuff people still don't know why. People still can't figure out why he didn't play in that one.
And another crazy thing is the Seahawks in that game. I forgot about this. Chris Nelson, a rookie, is just going berserk and had like over 100 yards, a couple touchdowns. Like they just kept throwing it up to him, and he was just going up and getting it. He didn't have a catch all year until the Super Bowl, and he ended up having like 5 or 6 catches for like I think 110 and a touchdown or 2, something like that. It was something crazy.
See, that was that point where, like those Super Bowl, they were winning those Super Bowls because of Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady was single-handedly marching those guys. I mean, what they won a Super Bowl with Chris Hogan as a receiver.
No. Like, Chris Nelson was on the Seahawks. He was
right. I was more for making another point, but yes, you're right. I remember that too.
I got you. But yeah, I mean and honestly, I'll say this. I thought Russell Wilson's last year in Denver, he didn't have a bad season, I didn't think. I mean, obviously Sean Payton did not like the guy and all that, but I didn't think he had that bad of a year. I don't think he played terrible as a Steeler. So to go back and watch him being that young, though, and was that his rookie season or like second season?
No, because he won a Super Bowl against the Broncos. I think that was his 3rd or 4th year.
Okay, but yeah, he won one early. He'd been to 2 Super Bowls super early. But yeah, I forgot like how good Wilson was with his legs back in the day, you know?
Yeah.
And like the thing is, they're like talking about him being like a one of a kind of guy. And I'm like, now every quarterback runs like that. You know what I mean? Like back then he was considered so mobile and whatnot, but it's like now like that's the basics. Like you got to be able to get that done.
Well, hopefully, for our viewing pleasures, and we're going to talk about a lot more here in a second, that their rematch is as good as we remember this game, and obviously was on this list. What do you think number 1 is? If I had to guess, I feel like it's going to be one of the early Packer Super Bowls, maybe.
It might be 28-3.
Oh, God, it is. Oh, my God, it is. Dear, how did I not know that?
I was just sitting here like, there's one big game that we hate here in Atlanta for a reason.
That is so obvious. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, the comeback. We don't have to spend a lot of time on that one.
That hangover is still felt to this day. I know that.
Yeah, 10 years later. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost been 10. It's 9 years later, literally. Oh, wait. Tomorrow will mark 9 years. So get ready for all the 28-3 posts tomorrow.
Oh yeah, they love bringing it. It doesn't really sting much like anymore, but dude, that was a fresh wound for 3 years. And they
13.
went to the playoffs. The Falcons went to the playoffs the next year. Hadn't been back since. That hangover is unreal.
And they lost to Nick Foles in the playoffs.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's where it started. That's where the magic started.
Yes, correct. And Carson Wentz, if he didn't get hurt, he was going to win MVP that year.
Oh, he was going crazy, bro.
Yeah, he was going to win MVP. But I love him, man. The Super Bowl, the way that the NFL, I know I talk about all the time how they garner attention all year, but the Super Bowl it's an unofficial holiday. People who don't watch football get together for the Super Bowl, and I love that.
Yep.
Sports is the best, man. Well, so obviously, after winning their respective conference championship games, Super Bowl settled. Certainly one I wouldn't have guessed at the beginning of the season. I was pretty heavy on the Rams and the Bills happening, which could have happened, but obviously didn't. And now, this Sunday, 6:30 on NBC, we've got the 14-3 Seahawks against the 14-3 Patriots. There's so much that when you think about this game, what these teams have done. I mean, both the Pats number 2 seed, the Seahawks number 1 seed, skip that first week and then demolished the Niners next week, winning a really close game with the Rams. Sam Darnold kind of redeems himself as I'm not Mr. Wet the bed anymore, or at least as we saw that. So really interested to see what's going on with them.
At the end of the day, Sam Darnold outdueled the MVP this year. That's what, that's really what happened there. Because Matt Stafford's about to win the MVP, and he outdueled. They both went for 300 plus. I mean, at the end of the day, he got the job done.
Yeah, both played really well, but to Victor goes to spoils. So we're gonna look at some ranks, how they did it, some mutual opponents, a lot of things. One thing I wanted to throw out is when people talk about no matter what, if they win or lose, like when people talk about the 2025 Patriots, what's one of the first 3 things they're going to bring up?
Mike Vrabel, Drake May becoming his own because it doesn't look like he's going anywhere. I think he'll be good for years to come, it seems. And honestly, those are going to be the main 2.
You don't think anybody's going to bring up the schedule?
If they win the Super Bowl, no.
Well, I'm looking here. So the Patriots right now have I'm going per ESPN here. Have obviously we've heard it a million times before. They have the 32nd easy or toughest schedule. So the easiest schedule.
Yeah.
And apparently it's been the easiest of this century. The Seahawks ranked 15. I just want to look at some past Super Bowl winners. Last year,
15?
Yeah.
The rankings that I looked at, it had the Seahawks as the 4th toughest.
What'd you look at? What'd you look at it on? I looked at it on ESPN.
Let me see. Keep talking. I'll find it.
Okay. Well, per ESPN rankings, strength of schedule, last year, Philly had the 23rd hardest schedule. The year before.
Teamrankings.com.
Okay. Well, everybody's got the different metrics. I'm just going to do what I found per ESPN.
Hey, you know what's funny? It's got the Rams 1, 49ers 3, Seahawks 4, Cardinals 5. So that division.
So they really value each other, which, I mean, that division put 3 teams in the playoffs. So understanding that. Yeah. So Philly last year, 23. Year before, Kansas City, 2nd hardest. Year before, Kansas City, one of the year prior as well, 15th hardest. The Rams, 5th hardest. Tampa Bay, 3rd hardest. So that's per ESPN. But clearly another site values it a little bit differently. But kind of shows that there's definitely some variation. I saw somebody say, well, this is what happens with every Super Bowl champion. So, per the ESPN rankings, looks like that's not the case. But nonetheless, it's a weird balance because, I mean, when you look at the Patriots schedule, as our panel member Graham has said many times, it's pretty deplorable. I mean, it just really is. When you look at, they played a bunch. I don't think they played any team with a losing record or with a winning record or whose coach didn't get fired, something like that. It's pretty outrageous to say out loud, but nonetheless, this is the NFL. Every team, any team can beat anybody. It's not like college where the lowest man on the totem pole really has no fighting chance. Anybody can beat anybody in this league. But they've played some really, really gritty games in the playoffs. They played two huge snow games. I mean, it was a little like we were watching a blizzard in both of them, which I'm interested to see because we've talked about it. Drake May has not really had a good playoff game, air quote. And not every quarterback has to win. It's obviously amplifies your chances. But I know it's inevitable for people to give the Tom Brady to Drake May comparison. And they love doing Tom Brady in his first Super Bowl threw 140 yards. It went 14 to 25, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I think the only reason we're comparing him to Brady, obviously, is because he's a Pat. But yeah, he hasn't had to go. We're winning a game because you're putting us on our back. That defense has played out of this world in the playoffs.
And they've also played tough defenses too. Like the games they've been in have been some defensive battles for sure.
Yeah, well, it ain't getting no easier this week, but
No.
I think we will have finally. Like I said last week, I love watching weather, especially snow, affect football games. But I mean, we had to watch Drake May play two games where it's a blizzard. You're not going to see what a quarterback's full powers are going to do. It doesn't matter who that quarterback is. Obviously, some can thrive in it, but I'm not throwing everything out about a quarterback based on how he plays in two snow games and back-to-back playoff games. So, but yeah, so I'm excited to see that. But Logan, just give us a little intro. I know you did some very diligent note taking, and I'm very, very, very proud of you. I'm very proud of you for that.
No, I mean, I think the reason why team rankings, sorry, trying to plug in over here before I go dark. The teamrankings.com that I used to go off the toughest schedule, it still had the Patriots dead last, so no surprise there. But obviously, it's value in that division a little bit more. Has the Seahawks, 9 spots or 11 spots higher from 15th to 4th. I mean, that division alone put in, like you said, 3 teams in the playoffs. They have 3 teams who are 13 wins or better. A 13-win team, a 14-win, or 2 13-win teams and a 14-win team. So, I mean, that's a lot of wins right there. What are we looking at? 40 wins off 3 teams? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, pretty stacked division. So, Seahawks looking good. This game as a whole, I don't know how deep you're trying to go into this. I don't know what you want me to touch on exactly right here, but
just do your thing, and I'll feed off that.
Drake May is he's shown for sure that he's young. He's made some boneheaded plays, fumbles, interceptions, things of that nature. And I will say this. In the Patriots' defense, which I don't want to ever defend the Patriots, but in the Patriots' defense, it's like they didn't create their schedule. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, they took care of business in front of them. That's all you have to do. That's the name of the game. It's not college. You're not scheduling this 3 years in advance or whatever the case may be, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, with this one, yeah, they didn't play a lot of good teams. Just off of glancing at it, I'm pretty sure the only 2 teams with winning records that they played were the Steelers and Bills. And as you said, they both lost their head coach, which I think the Bills probably shocked the world with their decision. But that's a conversation for another day. But Steelers, they lost by a touchdown. They beat the Bills by a field goal. They lost to the Bills by 4. So split with the Bills. Bills are a very good team. You know, can't fault anybody for splitting games.
And they were up big in that game, and Josh Allen ends up storming and making a comeback. I think they were down 21-0 in the second quarter in that game.
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I will trust you. Yes, but I mean, this game, it's kind of crazy because I look at this game and immediately I'm like, this is going to be a defensive battle. And then you look at the offense. The Seahawks have the 3rd most points scored. Guess what? The Patriots have the 2nd most points scored. The Patriots are averaging 28.8 points a game. The Seahawks are averaging 28.4. So you're literally at a 0.4 point differential for these offenses per game, you know? So that alone to me is pretty crazy because as much as all of us are like talking about how good their defenses are, We're talking about two top three offenses as well. But on the back end of that, we're talking about two top five defenses because right now points allowed by the Seahawks is 292 all year. That ranked first, and then was 320 for the Patriots, which ranked fourth. So you're talking about two top four defenses, two top three offenses. Just off that alone, I'm with you. I never expected Patriots Seahawks Super Bowl. Never. I thought they'd be like middle of their division at best, you know. So I'm with you. I didn't really see this coming either. But when you got two top three offenses playing, and you got two top four defenses on the field, what more as an NFL fan can you ask for? I mean, just off those two stats, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it literally seems like, oh, maybe we do. Maybe I don't know if they're the two best teams, but they're definitely two of the better teams. There's no denying that. And yeah, you can use the whole schedule thing with the Patriots, but I just find it hard to kind of hold that against them when it's like this is a schedule that was provided to them and they took care of business, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, and we clearly I fall victim to it because we say it is when anybody's really good, we're gonna find a way to deter them.
Yep.
We're gonna find something to take away. It's just part of it. It sucks, but I mean, hey, especially when it's a team like the Patriots. I mean, I don't know how many people, people may not have football. When I say football brains, I'm not talking about like how the game's played. I'm talking about just remembering stuff. I mean, we remember. Do you remember those AFC Championship games with the Chiefs and the Patriots, and people were rooting for the Chiefs to beat the Patriots because everybody was
Bro,
so tired of it?
we just was talking about how people were happy that Nick Foles and the Eagles, the most easily hated fan base you could go against, Philadelphia sports teams as a whole, and we're Atlanta sports fans, so Phillies and Braves have a big part to do with that, obviously. But you
Scum.
had you had the world rooting for the Eagles, bro. And it's real easy to hate on the Eagles just because their fan base alone, you know?
Yeah.
So I was thinking about that when we were going through the list. I'm like, damn, Tom Brady had people rooting for the Eagles just because they won't parody. Like you stay good enough long enough, you become the villain. Like
Yeah.
when Steph Curry and the Warriors first came into the scene, I won't say the league because it took them a few years to get into the scene of the playoffs and whatnot. But once they came into the scene and they were winning, it was fun to watch. Clay hit threes, people chasing Curry, chasing Clay. They're off balls, crazy. They're just splashing threes. Never seen a team hit threes like that, changing the game. First year or two, it was awesome to watch. After 3 or 4, it's like, all right, come on, somebody else do something. And that's the same thing with the Chiefs. The first year or two with Pat Mahomes, dude, him being literally horizontal in the air, throwing sidearm, the no looks, like everyone loved it. It was new, it was refreshing, it was fun to watch. It was a new team. But then when that team's good for 3 or 4 years in a row, you start to get sour on them. You're no longer rooting for them, you're rooting against them just because it's always fun to see new teams win. We had the luxury this year with college football. We talked about it going into the Final Four. All 4 of those teams, 3 of them had never won it. One of them's last win was 0-1, being Miami, obviously. So anytime there's parity in sports, I love it. I hate that there's 12 teams out there that have not won a Super Bowl. Like that's a lot of teams. That's over a third of the league. So yeah, it's easy to root against the Patriots because we've seen them be good for so long, and it's a few years later, and they're right back in it with a brand new coach and a second-year quarterback. So
Unfair.
It feels unfair, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's just part of it. If the Patriots are still this good in 3 or 4 years, we're going to hate them again, which I don't think we ever got over hating them because how recently they were so good. So I agree with you, though. When you got people rooting for the Chiefs and stuff like that, it is funny. But like I said, the Chiefs were still fresh back then. The long way, I guess.
I was looking at the little lineup for the game, like the comparison on ESPN that we always look at. And I forgot all about it. Not really forgot all about it, but I didn't even think to mention it. Probably going to pause this in a second. It's going to make me mad. But Drake May apparently like had some shoulder problems. Like I don't know. Oh my god, this is so annoying.
Hey, they said that about Sam Darnold too, and then him and the Seahawks put up 40 against.
And I'm reading this right here, and it says, "Where does it go to keep the new?" But apparently, he was like a lot of people were making a big deal, like he was coming out with his shoulder, with his bag on his right shoulder, so that meant he was okay or something. You know how psycho people get. when it comes to
Yeah.
games like this.
Yeah, I think
But
it's funny on ESPN on this preview you're talking about, it has a red Q next to Drake May.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what made me
I'm not
think about it.
buying it. Drake May's playing. there no, there's no way. If
Let
anyone
me.
believes he's questionable, they don't have a football brain.
Well, let's see. Through many notable concern, he said, "This is a quote from May." He said, "I threw the ball today as much as I would in normal practice." The Pats QB went on to say that he felt like he turned a corner on his right shoulder around the time the flight arrived in San Jose the previous day. And it says May status is a full participant. This is on Sports Illustrated. Hometown, home team, Sports Illustrated, right?
Yeah, that's your
This is
guys.
Yeah, that's right. May status as a full participant should put any lingering doubts surrounding his health to rest as far as the Super Bowl status is concerned. And I agree. But I mean, you never know, man. It gets crazy here. But
Hypothetically, though, who's their backup? Josh Dobbs, right? Or is he their third string?
I'm going to pretend that's right because I just can't think of anybody.
I know Dobbs is on their roster. He might be the backup.
What's really going to stink, though, is I think I'm looking here. It looks like Robert Spillane is going to be out with he hurt his ankle in that last game. So he's he's been a monster for them all year playing inside linebacker. So that's going to suck.
This guy Harold
But
Landry listed as questionable. Also, he's their leading sack guy. So
yeah, I think,
they'll be on Toradol. They'll be out there.
yeah, dude, if it's you, I feel like these guys are psycho competitors, especially people who start games. Dude, they'll do anything to get out there, especially in this game right here.
At least to
So
try. They're at least gonna suit up and try. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, I was looking at some things. As you're talking about some similarities in this, Drake May and Sam Darnold are fourth and fifth in the NFL in passing yards. Uh, JSN led the league in where is it at? He led the league in receiving yards and was number 4 in receptions. Because like he had weird games where he had like 25 yards and then well he's got 211. Like it just
Yeah.
popped out of nowhere.
That's like the
Kenneth
Niners.
Walker.
That Niners game, he only had like 38 yards or something like that.
Mhm.
But granted, the defense was going crazy too.
I'll tell you what
Yeah.
I enjoyed about that game last week with the Rams, it was last weekend. The Rams and the Seahawks was seeing the star receivers do what star receivers are supposed to do in a game.
Puka and JSN were going crazy.
Yeah, I that was awesome to see.
Hey, both running backs had decent games too that game, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just an offensive showcase, really.
Of both teams, Kenneth Walker, the third, is the only 1,000-yard rusher. Travion Henderson just missed it, and he split a lot of carries, and there were some games where he didn't even play.
Yeah.
I assume we'll probably see both of them.
Hey, I'll say this.
I was going to say real quick, speaking of running backs, it's going to suck not having Charbonnet in there.
Yes.
Zach Charbonnet, because he is huge for them in pass protection. And with a quarterback who, I mean, Sam Darnold led the league in turnovers. Like, there's still some things he doesn't do perfectly. So when you got your best pass protecting running back out of the game, could force to make some decisions, some preemptive decisions that you wouldn't normally make. So gonna be interesting to see there. But sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was interrupting you. I was just going off your point about the running backs. Henderson, yeah, he ended up with 911 yards. So he ended up with 911, but he had 911 on 41 less carries than Kenneth Walker, who had 1027. So, I mean, you're looking at 116 different yards on 40 carries. Seems like if Henderson gets those carries, he's going to probably have more yards, honestly. I don't know what his yards per carry is, but it's 40 carries, 111 yards. That seems very doable,
It's kind of crazy how I guess, because like I said, there were games like I remember people tweeting, "Why did I draft Travion Henderson? Why did I fall for this? Blah blah blah." And I drafted him on my team, and I was like, "Hey, he's getting a lot of touches." And then there'll be weeks where I was like, "Is he in trouble?"
Well, I believe Ramondre Stevenson was like hurt a little bit this year, so I think that's when his carries went up, and then when he came back, that's when it kind of. But yeah, you're right. It would be weird games where it's like he would have like what 5 carries, it feels like, or something like that. Yeah.
So, what else do I have for us?
Hey, but the Patriots have both running backs healthy, which kind of like what you're going off. Charbonnet not having that 1-2 punch. See if Kenneth Walker can hold up. I mean, it's one game, so I think it is, but it'll be interesting to see how fresh the legs are in the fourth quarter. It's a Super Bowl, though. They're going to grind it out.
Yeah. So Who do you think the best player on the field for each team is?
JSN.
I agree, JSN, and then I have my Pats one ready. If you're ready,
It's got to be someone on their
I
defense.
want to say Gonzalez.
Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not mad at that answer.
and
It
like
can't be anyone on their offense, but defensively, yeah.
I watched Asante Samuel talk about it, and he kind of compared. I believe he was comparing Gonzalez to himself because
Hey, and they're probably going head to head. That's funny.
right, yeah, well, because I don't know if he travels like, and I was
Yeah.
watching Asante Samuel talk about it. He was like, because people, I guess Deion Sanders said something like, this is forever ago, that he's the best off corner because he doesn't travel. He wishes he would travel more. And Asante Samuel kind of brought up the point of, hey, I'm not there to lock up the best receiver. I'm there to lock the quarterback up. I'm taking away a half of the field. And I feel like that's what Gonzalez does. Like when you throw him, it's kind of like I don't think he's as good as PS2, obviously, but he has had games where it's like, okay, this left half of the field is shut down. The only time I really saw receiver was, and I'm going to get to this game here in a little bit, was when Drake London, and he was playing well against Drake London too. Let's like that game. Remember, we went and watched that at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
He was playing well. Like it looked like he kind of got him flustered early, and then Drake London just left Earth.
I would
Scored.
say, if I remember correctly, that's when Drake London just turned into Julio Jones and was just going up
Yeah,
over everybody and making crazy ass
and
catches.
I'm pretty sure Gonzalez got hurt trying to make a play on a crazy play that Drake made that game. I've heard a lot. Speaking of Drake, I've heard a lot of people call Drake May, Drake maybe. I saw somebody call him Drake the schedule May.
I've always just heard Drake May. I don't know where that started, but
Oh my
Drake
god!
Maybe is funny as hell. But hey, he's in the Super Bowl. I don't know why. Like, people just got to tear everybody down.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it
It
gets
is
some
funny.
chuckles.
It is funny.
But yeah, I think those are the two best. So it's going to be really interesting. For the sake of me being a football fan, I want to see them travel. I want to see the best on the best lined up.
Yeah.
But it's weird because corner is a position where you can have the best player on the field. But if the front seven aren't able to be effective, it doesn't matter how good a corner is. Same thing with a safety. Like the front seven is where that game's going to be won. The back end help is obviously a huge plus, but
Yeah.
I mean, these are teams who, where was I looking at it at? Seattle, fifth most turnovers forced in the regular season. Pats are 20th, but the Pats also were bottom 10 in the league and turnovers lost. And Seattle had the second most turnovers this year, with Sam Darnold leading the league in turnovers. So I think it's going to be, obviously, they've gotten things figured out in the playoffs, but is this going to be another one of those games? Like if the turnovers, what they did during the regular season tells a story, Seattle could be in for a rough night.
You know what's funny though?
What's that?
So just to go off of this, so Seattle threw the 7th most picks in the league. They had the most fumbles in the league, right? And then turnovers as far as the Patriots, only 8 interceptions, which is they were the 5th best. They were at 27, or 6th best. They were at the 27th spot, so 27th most picks thrown, whatever. And they only had 8 fumbles, which is middle of the pack at 14. But yeah, Seahawks turned the ball over a lot. But you want to know what's crazy?
What's that?
The Seahawks have 18 interceptions on the year, which is 5th most in the league. So as much as we can say turnovers can matter because Sam Darnold, on the flip side of that, that defense gets the ball back.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if turning the ball over is never good, obviously, but if you can force a lot, I mean, it's going to lower that margin, that margin for error. And
speaking of forcing, though, to interject here, here's one thing I wrote down that's a concern for me if we're talking about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold makes turnovers. He'll fumble. He'll throw picks. We all know that. That's still a part of his game. He's got
the Patriots. Are the Patriots go still there for him?
Here's the thing, dude. As far as sacks and QB pressure, the Patriots rank 22nd. They have the 22nd most sacks. They have the 23rd most quarterback hits. If you're gonna make a difference in this game on defense for the Patriots, you got to go rattle Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is a guy where if you're hitting him and you're sacking him, you will force him into making mistakes. So that's a part that I think is going to be interesting because I think if you're giving Sam Darnold time, if you're not hitting Sam Darnold, you're not getting him to the ground. Because I mean, ranking 22nd and 23rd in quarterback hits and sacks, that's not going to be a recipe to really get Sam Darnold to do the things that the Patriots are going to want Sam Darnold to do. Because there's good Sam, bad Sam, kind of,
Yeah.
But I'm just worried about if they're not able to get to him and he just picks them apart because he's got the weapons, dude. You got Shaheed, you got Cup, you got JSN, Kenneth Walker, like. They got the weapons to do it, and if you aren't getting to him, he might just sit back there, and it might be a shootout.
When he gets into it, man, when he's feeling it, I mean, he's as good. He could. I'm not going to say he's a top 5 quarterback in the league because I don't think that, but he plays up there with those guys. I remember when I went and watched the Falcons play them this year, and I sat behind the field goal post, so I have kind of a unique view. Like when they're going to the opposite end zone, I see everything to his back. It's easy to see the receivers come out of their breaks and stuff. When he gets in a rhythm and plays in time, man, I've seen a lot of really, really good quarterbacks. I've seen Drew Brees. I've seen Matt Ryan. I've seen Matt Stafford just a few weeks ago. I've seen a lot of really good quarterbacks in person, but I have not seen one get in rhythm and put the ball where it's supposed to be like Sam Darnold. It's like every receiver, it was almost like a robot throwing the ball. No, not a yard thrown behind him, not a yard thrown past him. I mean, everything is where it's supposed to be.
If
But
I remember correctly, when the Niners signed him to be their backup, I can't remember if it was Shanahan or not, but there was someone on the Niners side who said they believe Sam Darnold's one of the best throwers in the league. Like they said that he's got one of the best arms in the league. And I remember like it might have been Shanahan. It makes sense for it to be him because he's an offensive guy, so he would see stuff like that. But I remember like him getting whoever said it, I don't remember exactly who, but I remember them catching like some slack for it because like you just signed this got to be your backup. What do you mean he's one of the top passers in the league? And then you fast forward a couple years and he's had back-to-back 14-win seasons,
Yeah. And we talked about it last week. Like it sucks. And one thing that happened this past week was the Vikings would go with their GM, and apparently one of the biggest issues, which I get, I kind of get both sides now. When I've thought more about it, because the GM, I can't think of his, and I would butcher it if I tried to say it. He basically was like, "Hey, we're gonna ride with we're gonna ride with JJ McCarthy. We're gonna let Sam Darnold go." That's not what the coaching staff wanted. McConnell was opposed to that, but at the same time, the last memories that they have of Sam Darnold playing games was when he wet the bed against Detroit and wet the bed against LA. Both those things are happening. So it sucks to kind of have that as your memory. But like we talked about, 14 games is 14 games. And have you seen Justin Jefferson is kind of on his, I'm trying to think of a player, kind of on his subliminal slander war right now, talking about Sam Darnold. Like if we would have had Sam Darnold, probably would have been better. And then he was on a show today, and they were like, "How'd you get 1,000 rushing or receiving yards again?" He's like, "I don't really know. I mean, there were times where I caught the ball twice a game." I'm like, "Oh God,
yeah."
Are you telling me he's going to be a Buffalo Bill? Is that what I'm saying? But I'm not going down that rabbit hole. But it's just
not at all.
That's the last impression with Sam Darnold that we had, right? So this year we got this guy who, in the biggest games, in those Rams games, especially that second Rams game, was out of this world. And then when he needed to come up probably the biggest game of his life was the NFC Championship last week before obviously the Super Bowl is coming up, and he played out of this world. So clearly there's something that he's found, and it's going to take, a defense. The Pats defense has been on fire, but this is another thing people have said about the Patriots is the quarterback, which is not Drake May's thing, obviously, but Herbert was missing 3 offensive linemen and was getting absolutely tortured. Their pass defense was fantastic. CJ Stroud played one of the biggest quarterback stinker games I've probably ever seen.
Yeah.
And then last week, they play a backup Jarrett Stidham. So they have had but I don't want to take away from that Herbert game because I mean they were lights out. Like the what's their heads? The Chargers couldn't do a single thing. The Chargers could not do a single thing. So this defense is, really. It's almost they're kind of like almost like the no name defense, other than Christian Gonzalez kind of being the only other noteworthy guy. That's kind of how I look at them, as just a bunch of guys who are bought in and figured it out, play for a Super Bowl winning linebacker. So
Yeah,
he's
I mean, you
clearly
got to think too. Like Harold Landry, he kind of he might have been there before Vrabel, but Vrabel's got a relationship with him because he was in the Titans with him.
yeah.
And this is Harold Landry's not exactly young, and he's leading their team in sacks. I think he had like 8.5, yeah, eight and a
Mhm.
half sacks. So it's like you said, you just got guys, you got some vets in there, a couple young guys, and they're just completely bought in. So I mean, at the end of the day, like, yeah, they're playing these top defenses, but we all knew the Patriots had a top defense, and we knew that the Chargers had the worst offensive line in the league. There was that one video going around of the O line, like pro football rankings or whatever, and
No,
they're
the
all like
PFF.
dead last or second to last. So I mean, yeah, Chargers, we knew their O line was going to sneak it up, and Patriots defense is very good. And then obviously, like you said, you have the CJ Stroud having one of the worst games we've seen in a long time in a playoff game, and then the Stidham situation is what it is. And on top of that, we didn't even get to really see Stidham because of the blizzard they played in the second half.
Yeah. And that's what I want to. We saw Drake May again. I know I'm repeating myself here, playing two of those. So he's inside what? No, maybe not in the dome, but he's going to be in perfect weather in Santa
Yeah.
Clara, San Francisco. How about them not practicing over there? They're staying away from the substation practice field.
I did not even notice that. I didn't even hear about that.
No, one of them. I guess I forget where the Seahawks are practicing, but the Pats are in San Jose. So yeah, they made a point to not play at those.
That
Niners
should speak
facilities.
volumes alone. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
What was I going to say? Oh, one name I think we should watch out for. A player who I'm thinking is going to have a big impact in this game. Maybe not just because they're making every single play all night, but they're going to have a big play. I think it's going to be Jalen Hawkins, safety for the Pats. 4 picks on the year, which is tied for. I mean, you know how it goes. There's like 6 people who have 5 interceptions or something like that. But he's got 4 picks on the year. He's made some huge plays throughout the year. Kind of shown semblance of being a really good ball hawk. I think he's going to make a big play this game. So
are you
when that
calling him
happens,
the X factor for defense?
yeah, we'll call him the X factor because I'm not going to call Christian Gonzalez an X factor. We know,
Yeah.
we know what he does, right?
To me, an X factor is like someone who can hit or miss.
Yeah, we like. Whoa, we didn't really see that coming. Like
Yeah.
we know you're good, but who's the Pats X factor
on offense?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, that's exactly what I wanted to touch on. So this one might be a little bit more obvious. He might be more of like a Christian Gonzalez, but I think he's at the back end of his career. He's already peaked, I believe.
Oh, we already know who it is.
Diggs.
Yeah.
If Diggs has a game, dude, this offense can buzz around Diggs. You get a little bit of the run game going, get Drake May comfortable. Diggs, I think Diggs' first Super Bowl, like we talked about, it was him and Devontae Adams had like the most catches in the NFL history or playoff history or whatever without making a Super Bowl. So I think Diggs is going to come out. He's going to be wanting it. And Diggs also has some things going on in the background of his life where he might be facing suspension. Who knows? He might get into some trouble. So Diggs, I think, is going to have the chip on his shoulder. And if they can feed him early, I mean, I don't know if he can compete like a JSN, but if you can get him flirting with 100 yards, dude, this Patriots offense could be rolling. And I mean, I know 100 yards is a lot, but it's like Diggs is capable, man. He really is. And I believe he's going to want it. So I'm interested to see how they game plan to try to get him involved. Because I think Diggs in a game like this, you definitely want him involved early and build that confidence, you know what I'm saying? And get him in that rhythm. I think that'd be very important for the Patriots to get going.
Is this, are we finally, speaking of him, are we finally seeing the redemption potentially of this meme? Hold up.
Is this where he's staring there watching after the Chiefs beat him?
Hold up.
It is. I already know it.
Read the caption on this. Says Stephon Diggs stood on the field by himself and watched the Chiefs just so he could get Tyreek Hill's autograph. All the watching the celebration paid off.
Bro, imagine Diggs winning the Super Bowl with the division rival Patriots. That Bills GM, they want to
Yeah,
blame McDermott, but that Bills GM was it Brendan Bean, right? Is
yeah,
that their GM?
Brandon Bean, and they've retained him.
Well, yeah, they blamed everything on McDermott. Oh, the coaches really wanted us to go get Keon Coleman. That's bad look, I think. But Joe Brady was already there, so whatever.
Yeah,
But that's another conversation another day. But I think if Diggs were to win it with the Patriots, a division rival, 2 or 3 years after he leaves the Bills, and
yeah,
everyone's key thing about the Bills for 2 years has been they need a wide receiver one. So it's like that'd be crazy. Diggs would be able to, really walk with his chest bowed out in Buffalo next time they go for sure.
yeah. I think a big name is gonna. I think Travion Henderson. He may not have 150 yards. I think he's gonna have like a 40-yard rush where he totally opens up a stagnant offense and totally changes the complexion of the game. I really see something like that happening.
Hey, that's not an easy feat to get against a Seattle stingy
Yeah,
defense,
I
though.
know. I
I mean,
agree.
but I'm with you. A play like that, because they're so stingy and so good on defense, plays like that are what open up those kind of games if it ends up going that route. So I'm not mad at that prediction.
Do we want to do the classic? Who has more at stake, Sam Darnold or Drake May?
Now,
I love those.
what is it?
Uh,
Year 3, Drake May, year 2, whatever it
I'd
is.
say that sarcastically.
Yeah, I
Um,
know.
so let's switch sides. Seattle. This may not be a surprise because of what he's done.
Oh, I already know where this is going. I feel like
Shaheed,
yes.
dude, that guy. Anytime he makes it, I remember walking out of the Falcons game or halftime Falcons game this year. It's 6-6, and I go use the bathroom real quick before halftime starts, and maybe go grab a drink. So I'm walking back in as they're about to kick the ball off. I turn around for something, look right back at the field, and he is racing down the sideline. I mean, he ended the San Francisco game before it started with that opening kickoff. But we haven't, and it's harder to do this in the NFL. We haven't really, at least in these big games, haven't seen him take the top off offensively. You know what I mean? Kind of be that big play threat downfield, which I think is something he clearly is built for. So I think he's gonna have a big impact this game.
And I'm here to tell you if JSN gets to cooking early, they're probably going to send some safety help that way. You mess around and have him and Shaheed on the same side, and that safety bites on a JSN break, and then Shaheed just goes flying over the top. That's a recipe for disaster for a defense. I'm not saying it will happen, but I'm just saying like that's the easy way to bait them into, oh, JSN's cooking. He's a little out route. Safety bites down on it. Boom, over the top. I mean, it's little things like that happens. However, Shaheed, glad you mentioned him. I think I'm the same way. I think he's an X factor for that offense because if he has a mediocre game, yeah, JSN can carry. We all know that. But if he has a good game, it will make a world of difference, in my opinion. And as far as where another way, he doesn't have to make the difference on offense like you're talking about. Special teams, he can make a difference.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on that. Both of these teams have 2 touchdowns, which is there's a handful of teams that had 2 kickoff return touchdowns, and both these teams are one of them. They're 2 touchdowns, so tied for first, whatever. Both these teams have a punt return for a touchdown, which no team had more than 1. So a handful of teams had 1. But here's where it will get interesting. So obviously, both teams can return the ball. Let's see. Punt return yards, Patriots had the 5th most, and then the Seahawks had the 3rd most. So they both returned punts pretty well. Kick returns, they're both at like the bottom tier. It was like 27th and 32nd on kick returns, but they have both scored a tud. So, or it was 2 punt return touchdowns, 1 kickoff touchdown.
Yeah.
I think I went backwards earlier. However, here's where it gets interesting. So the Patriots are allowing 12 yards. I think I have this backwards. 12 yards per punt, I believe it is. I think I flip-flopped them. 12 yards per punt, which is the 10th most in the league. And then the Seahawks are allowing 15 and a half return yards per punt, which is 2nd most in the league. So if these are 2 teams who are already in the bottom 10 of allowing punt return yards, and then you got some weapons back there. Off the top of my head, I don't remember who the Patriots guy is, but do you remember off the top of your head?
No, I can look it up real quick.
I don't remember off the top of my head, but either way, when you got two teams from the bottom 10 defending punt returns and stuff like that, and you got two guys who are out there and can make returns and make things happen. Because I mean, you're talking about two teams on punt return yards who are in the top 10, and you got two teams in the bottom 10 being able to defend it. So I personally think, all in all, I think special teams is going to play a huge factor in this game. And with that being said, it might not be a kick return, it might not be a punt return, it could be field goals. I just think special teams really might provide the winning edge in this one because I was looking at the field goals. Neither one of these teams really have a great field goal percentage. They're both, one's 84.4, one was 85.4. So they're both hanging around on the 85 margin, which is not very good. That's not elite by any means. But the difference is Seahawks have the fifth most 50-yard field goals. They had 9 this year. So, I mean, that just lets you know as soon as they're in range, watch out. They're going to be able to kick 50-yarders, and they're going to do it pretty effectively. So Seahawks also had the second most field goals in the league this year with 41. So, I mean, they're getting the job done. Patriots only had 27 made field goals, so that's 19th. So kind of the bottom, bottom third of the league as far as that goes. So, I mean, not very great for the Patriots field goal wise, but Seahawks clearly have been able to provide a winning edge on field goals. And then you also got to worry about whether, like I said, special teams as a whole, you got to worry about Shaheed as well. So I think that could play a pretty big part of this game, to be honest.
Pat's return man is running back D'Ernest Johnson.
Oh, former Brown.
Yes. Nice, dude. That's nasty. That's nasty right there, dude.
Hey, I just remember him when the Browns had like back-to-back weeks when Chubb got hurt. He ran like 200. I was like, what the It was kind of like Rico Dowdle did for the Panthers. Just out of nowhere, had a couple crazy weeks.
Yeah, that was a nasty pull right there. I'm proud of you for that one.
Thank you, sir.
Defense on the what's their heads on the Seahawks. Rookie safety Nick Emanwari, somebody who I did a lot of covering for at South Carolina. He should have been a first round draft pick, but somehow fell to the second round. Seahawks pick him up, and he's started every game pretty much this year and made tons of big plays. That dude's an out of this world athlete. You saw him kind of get on. I'm so pissed I can't think of bro's name. Was it Woolen? Woolen who got the
it's like
the taunting penalty. Yeah, and Emanwari as a rookie is like on the sideline, hey dude, get it together. He's mature beyond his years, and he's a freak athlete. Made a lot of big plays. Of course, had his first interception this year of the season against the Falcons. But I expect him to make a big play.
So my X factor is not going to be a specific player. However, I will say a stat about a specific player in a minute. Actually, I'll start with this. Or first, my X factor is a group of men, and it's the D-line. And the reason why I say the D-line, earlier I was talking about the Patriots aren't getting to the quarterback a lot. Well, there's one thing the Seahawks do, and that's get to the quarterback. They have the second most quarterback hits in the league, 122 this year. They have the 8th most sacks at 47, and they have the 10th most tackles for loss at 89. So the one thing them boys are going to do is they're going to get in that backfield.
Yeah.
So the Seahawks, I don't know if I'm really going to pinpoint a Byron Murphy or DeMarcus Lawrence or anyone like that. But I will say the defensive line, that room, the D-line room is going to be the difference maker in this game, I think. I think that's going to be the X factor. Drake May is very young. Drake May has made mistakes. He will fumble the ball. He will throw picks. He will also run. So maybe, who knows? It could be a thing where he's flushed out of the pocket and he's forced to make a play on the run. And that is kind of where he excels. It's like, oh, I'll make a run, getting yards. So it could bite him. It could bite him in the ass as much as it helps him. But if you're getting your hands on the quarterback and you're roughing him up and you're banging him up, and if his shoulder really is a problem and you're lighting him up a couple times, who knows how this game turns. But I wouldn't say a specific player, but I'm going to say the defensive line room. And then just off of that, I want to say one funny thing real quick. I saw a stat. DeMarcus Lawrence, 11 seasons with the Dallas Cowboys, 0 Super Bowl appearances. He said in an interview when he left, the Cowboys. He loved the Cowboys. He never wanted to leave Dallas. He loved living there, the whole nine. But he knew if he wanted to play for a championship, it wouldn't be in Dallas. He has played one season in Seattle, and he's now already in a Super Bowl. So you love it when the Dallas Cowboys get shit on, and it actually pays off.
God, they always find a way to take it now, huh?
Yeah, so I just wanted to throw that in there because I did have that saved, and I didn't mention it last week because I want to save it for our Super Bowl episode where we go a little deeper dive. But I do think that's hilarious that there's a guy that's like, I loved Dallas, I loved playing for the Cowboys. However, if I wanted to play for a championship or win a championship, it wasn't going to be in Dallas the way everything was running. Literally goes to Seattle, and first year, here he is about to play for a title. So I thought that was pretty funny.
It's amazing. They really have not won a playoff game in 30 years. That's bewildering.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned the pass rush of the Seahawks, and it's going to be critical to get to Drake May and get him on the ground because, as we've seen and talked about before, that dude can make plays with his legs and not like, okay, he just broke out of this. This is not Tom Brady or Peyton Manning scrambling. This dude has some freaking wheels, and he's got long. Dude runs like a deer, man. He's got super long strides.
Hey,
so
he might be the closest thing to Lamar we've seen, honestly. He's got that good of running ability, I think. I think it's up there. I don't think it's as good, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I wouldn't go that far.
Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating, but I'm just saying he's closer to Lamar than he is Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, which are the two you just named.
So let's pretend Drake May. Okay, first off, I'm going to ask you this, and you can ask me why. I'm going to ask you for each one. If the Patriots win this game, why did they win? What happened?
Defense.
Okay, so you're thinking the defense. What kind of game you think May had? You think maybe he's having like a Tom Brady his first Super Bowl and just kind of managing the game?
I don't think that. Because I do think kind of like the Ric Flair. To be the man, you got to beat the man, and who the man is, and is the Seahawks defense. And the thing is, both these teams on paper have great defenses, and I think they do both have great defense. But the Seahawks, who they have beat and who their defense has performed against and played against, is a totally different realm than what the Patriots have done. So I think the kind of game Drake May would have is take care of the ball. I think the defense of the Patriots prevails, but I think Drake May has to take care of the ball because you're not winning this game if you have multiple turnovers. I don't think. I think the Seahawks are too good to have multiple turnovers.
Yeah.
So I think Drake May, as long as if they win the game, I would say he has one or less turnovers. I don't see a world where they win with multiple turnovers.
I think if the Patriots win this game, it means they put Sam Darnold. I'm going to kind of go your route. They put Sam Darnold through the ringer.
Yeah.
I think just based on what we've seen in the playoffs, and whether, again, that may not be exactly super fair, but what we've seen between both teams in the playoffs, if both quarterbacks play this game how they've played their best game in the playoffs, I hope that makes sense. If they replicate their best playoff performance from this past season and play in the Super Bowl, the Seahawks are going to run away with it because we haven't seen anything from Drake May that proves that. I mean, that's just how I'm thinking about it. But we also could really see a situation where Darnold sees the ghost metaphorically again, the Patriots have, and Drake May just does, like you said, takes care of the ball, does enough. I mean, we could really see a postseason where he combines for 700 yards between 4 games.
That's what I was thinking too, 700.
And wins the Super Bowl. And what I hate and what happens with football, it's going to tick me off, is when that happens and they win the Super Bowl and he wins and doesn't play well, that he's going to get put in the conversation with Allen, Lamar, Burrow, and Lamar Jackson. He's going to get shot right out there. It's going to piss me off. I can already see it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. I don't want to give my pick away too early.
That's fine. And I'm not asking you to. I'm just
no. I know, but it's just what's going through my brain,
So
but, I mean, it's definitely going to be Drake May's going to have to take care of the football. I think if I do think if the Patriots win, he probably provides something with his leg. Maybe he's the guy that eludes a sack and gets the 40-yard rush. That's a possibility as well. Maybe
Drake
he's the guy
maybe's
that
legs.
I mean, Drake May, like you said, he can make it happen. We've both alluded to it. Like, yeah, they get to the quarterback, but that's an important part is you can't just get to him. You got to hit him. You got to bring him
Yeah.
down. Like, you got to make him feel that you're back there. Because getting back there and pushing him outside the pocket, that could hurt you as much as it helps you. Because you got to make sure you're hitting him. Because if you're just pushing him outside the pocket, he can run, he can escape the pocket, and he can go out and get some yards or dump it off, whatever he's got to do, throw it out of bounds. But I think the important part is rattling him. He's young. Take advantage of if he makes early mistakes, you got to take advantage of it because both of these quarterbacks I think are going to have to settle in. It seems because it seems like Sam Darnold seeing ghosts and shit. You gotta watch him as well. So I think the first few drives will be interested to see how the defense and offense comes out because I feel like it's going to be more of one of those games where the first quarter is going to be more so filling each other out, getting the jitters out. You got two quarterbacks never been there before. I mean, you got two young head coaches. I mean, I guess Vrabel's not a young head coach, but first year with the
For what it's worth, I think he's under 50. I would say anybody under 50 is a pretty good
I'm
head coach.
more so saying experience. Like he was
Okay,
with the Titans
fair
for
enough.
what,
Right.
8 years? So I'm thinking more so experience, not age. But yeah, either way, you're right.
So I feel like I had a good point. I just totally lost it. Maybe it'll come back to me. But well, yeah, whatever. So I wanted to look at they had some mutual opponents this year. They played 6 teams that were the same. Both played the Falcons. Obviously, like I said, Seattle ransacked the Falcons, won 37-9, 6-6 at halftime, and then just absolutely explosion. Some really inopportune. Every turnover is inopportune, but this is stuff in your own territory. Bijan fumbling the ball. A lot of bad stuff happened in there. And then the Patriots beat the Falcons 24-23, where, again, Drake London goes absolutely feral, scores 3 touchdowns that game, and we miss an extra point. And then the next drive, the Patriots iced the freaking game. That was brutal.
Is that the game where they dropped? That was the first game after they got rid of Koo, wasn't it? Because I want to say the week before, Buddy had like 5 field goals, and then that game he missed the extra point.
No.
Or was that the game they got rid of Koo?
The Bills, they got rid of him, Koo, the week before the Bills.
So was it this game then? Did Koo miss this extra point, and then they cut him?
No. They played the Pats after.
Okay. Either way, neither here nor there. I'm getting off topic. My bad.
It's okay. It's a good question to ask. So, I mean, if the Falcons kick an extra point, they may be in the playoffs, but there's a huge rabbit hole we can go down for that. They both played the Saints. Once again, the Seahawks blew the doors off of them 44-13. And I remember this is early in the season. The Patriots played a close one against the Saints, who the Saints have really outperformed their expectations. I think they did a really good job this year.
Middle of the season. It was like game 7 when they played. It was.
Well, I mean, mathematically, that's earlier than 9 would be like the halfway point.
It was the middle third of the season. We'll say that.
Fair enough. So both played the Panthers. Both handled them pretty easily. Seahawks won 27-10. New England won 42-13. Both played the Bucs in pretty close games. I'm pretty sure. I want to say New England gave the Bucs their first loss. I feel like could you check me on that? I feel like they gave the Bucs their first loss.
They didn't play the Bucs till week 9. So
no, okay, so that's definitely wrong. No, the Eagles. I think the Eagles gave the Bucs their first loss, right?
I don't know.
Who cares?
Neither one of these teams are playing this weekend.
Yeah,
so
and but the Bucs. I just read this wrong. The Bucs beat Seattle. One of their 3 losses came against the Bucs, and this is I think this got won in like the last minute of the game. I remember watching this game at my sister's birthday. We were at Yard House watching it, and they both wore the throwback uniforms. It was in Seattle, and that's when the Baker MVP smoke was really at its peak. Was after this game, and then it quickly went downhill. So the first one that we've spoken of, where they kind of split that game, they both played the Steelers. Seattle ended up beating the Steelers early, and then New England lost. I think their last that was their last loss before the Bills at the very end, close to towards the end of the season. But the Steelers got the best of the Patriots. They defeated them 21-14. And then they both played the Titans. Seattle played the Titans pretty close, which you would have told me Super Bowl competitor played a close game with the Titans, I'd be kind of like, what?
Hey, I
But
got one better for you.
they did.
The
What's that?
Patriots lost to the Raiders.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to bring that up here in a second. Yeah,
Okay, my fault.
first game of the year.
Continue,
No,
continue.
you're good.
I'm sorry.
But the Titans play close one Seattle, 30-24, and then Mike Vrabel's kind of revenge game. I thought you were going to see him really pull out all this disrespectful stops, but he was pretty classy about it for the most part. And Titans ended up winning that one 31-13, or excuse me, Patriots ended up winning that one 31-13. So those are their mutual opponents. They only team they split two of them. Every other team, or they beat what they played 6 teams, both beat 4 of them. 2 of them they split there. So pretty similar against teams when you break that down. Some of the teams that one team blew out, other one playing a close game. So, well, football that never exactly means anything, but it's just something to think about. That's, I guess, the closest we've seen to them playing each other is these games. So, yeah. Did want to mention too, Ernest Jones tied for second in the league with 5 picks. Another guy we could see have a big impact on this game for the Seahawks.
So I just want to kind of. I didn't do the research on head-to-heads. I knew you said you had done it, so I kind of left it alone because I let that be your little time to shine, your little segment.
Oh, thank you.
So one thing I did do a deep dive in is just just team stats, just things of that nature. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's a team game. So I was talking about earlier, just touched on just a little bit ago, the opening game. How I think it might take the offense a little bit of time to settle in, especially because if I remember correctly, both these guys are defensive guys. I know Vrabel is, isn't? Is it McDonald?
Yeah, he was the DC.
Okay, that's what I thought. Seattle.
No, Baltimore.
Okay, I don't know why I was thinking he was Seattle and took over for Carroll. Anyways, with that being said, one thing I kind of mentioned you lightly right before we kicked it off live. Both these teams struggle with penalties, and it's kind of crazy. So the most penalized team in the league this year is the Seattle Seahawks. They had 117 penalties, and then you got the Patriots, who had the 4th most penalties at 108 penalties. Fun fact, or kind of crazy fact to me, Patriots had the 4th most penalties, but only the 24th most yards off of penalties. So when they do get penalized, it's not for a lot of yards.
It's like a lot of false starts, offsides.
Right. It's not, if I just Hail Mary this and my receiver turns around and runs into the chest of the DB, we get half the field. It's not the BS pass interference that I hate seeing. I just think that was a pretty interesting stat. You got 2 of the 4th most penalized teams in the league. It kind of seems like they're like top 5 in a lot of categories together, especially top 10 if you really break it down. But it's just kind of crazy because you would think you think Super Bowl team, you think discipline, you think they do everything right. They got the fundamentals down pat, kind of like Indiana. They just won it, and it's because they weren't very penalized. They were very disciplined. They made the right play. They made the right read. And then you got this team's coming in. Obviously, NFL, college, a little different, but I thought it was an interesting stat. And I also think it's interesting because it's 2 young coaches as far as with their team. This is the 2nd year in Seattle, right? Second
Correct.
season in Seattle, 1st season for Vrabel and Patriots, which Vrabel's probably a little bit more comfortable. He had a good bit of years. I don't know the exact number, but if I'd assume it was 5 to 10 years, somewhere in that range of years in Tennessee. He's also –
I think it's less than 5.
Was it?
Yeah.
I was thinking it was like 7 or 8. Maybe either way. Vrabel has a little bit more experience head coach wise, and then on top of that, I think he's comfortable in New England. He played there. He won a Super Bowl there. He knows how that place was ran, so I think that helps. What's the face for?
Sorry, I'm looking that up. I just wanted to clarify.
Okay, yeah, I could be completely wrong, but I was definitely thinking there he was there for longer than that. But either way, Vrabel has experience. He knows the Patriot way, and that's why Mayo was fired so that they could go get Vrabel before someone else got him.
Well, no, I'm an idiot. You were right. I'm sorry.
How many
Yeah,
years?
he had 6 years there. So
Okay, I was thinking somewhere between 5 and 10. I was thinking a couple, maybe a year or two more than that. But
I'm
either
just
way,
an idiot. So I mean that's all there is
what
to
the
it.
what the wall say back to the Grinch? You're an idiot.
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, that's one thing I just want to take note of, kind of speak on is penalties. That was really shocking to me when I was doing a deep dive of all the team stats and their rankings
Mhm.
among the rest of the league and stuff. Being the the most penalized team and the fourth most that one shocked me. I was not expecting that. But like I said, you're still thinking new cultures, new coaches, stuff like that. So I mean, maybe they're still trying to get it dialed in, but that might be scary for the rest of the league. Like imagine when these guys are fully disciplined. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like they're already a buzzsaw. So that's interesting in my opinion. Fun little.
yeah, especially when you got two top five most penalized teams in the Super Bowl. Like that's just something you don't necessarily put together. But the yards, I mean, it shows like it's a lot of ticky tacky things for the Pats. So that's interesting to point out there.
Yeah, and the Seahawks, I did have it written down. The Seahawks had the 11th most yards. So they got the first most penalties, only the 11th most yards, 902 yards penalized for.
Who had the
So,
most? Never mind. I'm not even gonna go down that hole. I was just interested to know. But is there anything else that we need to go over? Or we just need to go ahead and predict this bad boy.
one thing I wanted to touch on that I found another little interesting stat. So, defensively for the Pats, their red zone percentage is 67.5%. Not very good. That's 30th in the league, if you were wondering.
And,
So,
and so is this
touchdown percentage.
scoring or scoring touchdowns?
Touchdown percentage.
Gotcha.
On the other side, the Seahawks are at 50%, which is the fifth best in the league,
Oh, you talking about allowing?
allowing a touchdown.
Got you.
So 67.5% of the time, the Patriots are allowing a touchdown once you're inside the 20.
So
On the other
2/3 of the
hand,
time, you're good.
the Seahawks defense is only allowing it half the time, which is fifth best in the league. Another very, very, very worrisome stat. Not only do they have the second to highest percentage, with it being 67.5 touchdown percentage allowed, they've also had 40 red zone attempts on defense, which is dead last. They've allowed the most red zone attempts. They've let teams in the red zone the most.
Say that one more time. Who was it? I didn't hear
The
it.
Pats.
Well, that checks out.
There's been 40 red zone attempts, and they're second to worst on stopping them or forcing a field goal, however you want to look at it, not letting 6 get in. So I didn't realize the Patriots defense struggled so bad inside that red zone. But when you're not getting to the quarterback and you're not getting these, I mean, tackles for loss, they did rank 11th in. So their D line's getting there for tackles for loss. But as far as QB hits being 23rd and sacks being 22nd,
Yeah.
when you're in the bottom third of the league, that's a little scary, especially when you got Sam Darnold, who was dialed in and went for like 350 against a very good Rams defense as well. So
And again, like I said, dude, when that guy gets in rhythm, man, he can swing it with the best of them. There's no doubt about it.
And then on top of that, the Seahawks defense allows third down percentage was 32%, which was best in the league. So they got the best third down defense.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, go figure. I mean, it was 38% for the Pats, so it's 12th in the league, so it's not bad.
Yeah.
But it's still insane to me. You got the best third down defense in the league. So, and that does not garner well for a young quarterback, I don't think. So, and you don't. It's not like your coach is Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell can coach around that and coach you up and get you in a rhythm. I'm not saying Vrabel can't. Not saying that. Who's it? McDaniels. Josh
McDaniels.
So I'm not saying he can't either, but it's like, I don't know. I just think it's something to kind of pay attention to when you got a young quarterback like that.
Yeah, I mean, and somebody who's been there before is Josh McDaniels. You want to talk about being prepared?
That's
This
true.
guy.
Hey, and maybe they target Diggs early.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Well, anything else, Logan, before we go ahead and predict this bad boy?
That's it. Just throwing some random interesting facts as I was doing deep dives into stats.
Hey, dude, excellent work. No, those were really good. And I mean, a lot of these things, like you're talking about an offense who we've seen struggle with the Patriots against the number one red zone defense and number one third down defense. I mean, those are two huge numbers that could tell a story in this game. I always numbers they don't make anything happen, but they tell a story. I mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
you know that's something that's always going to happen, right?
I mean, you literally got one team who's the 30th best red zone defense, and then you got the fifth best red zone defense. So it's
Yeah.
like Seattle's defense kind of buckles up. They bend and don't break, where Patriots defense looks like they break a little bit once you get inside the red zone. So,
Well, ESPN matchup predictor has the Seahawks as a 59.6% chance to win, whatever that metric is broken down into. When the game opened, Seattle opened up as a 3.5 point favorite. That has since moved to 4.5. The over under is 45.5. And the Patriots or with that being said, the chance or the odds of, well, I can't talk at all. If you were to bet money line on this game, the Seahawks are minus 238 to win. So, I mean, pretty favorable favorites, which sounds incredibly redundant there. But we've got a team, the Patriots, who essentially, like you said, lost to the team with the number one pick in the league in this year's draft, and the Raiders, who were horrible this year, were absolutely awful this year. And they get started off with a rough start, losing that game, lose to the Steelers a few weeks ago, which we thought the Steelers were going to be maybe not world beaters, but should have ran away with that division. Did not.
yeah.
And absolutely just catch fire. I mean, these guys, schedule or no schedule, these guys won the games that were in front of them, all except that Buffalo game. So, I mean, they got to figure it out. Another team. Also, funny enough, you know what other team started off with an L the first week of the year?
Seahawks.
Yes, to the Niners, who they throttled in the playoffs. But they rebounded, lost that close game to Tampa, and then lost that first matchup with the Rams, who that was to me I say the Bucks game was, I guess, when the Rams decimated them. But that kind of seemed like, okay, this is the changing of the guard. Like the Rams are putting their foot on the gas as to be the number one team. And then the Seahawks just casually rip off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins in a row, including 2 playoff wins now. So they're winners of 9 in a row. And, just given from all those stats that you read, really clicking on defense, especially. We did want to go over real quick, look at some injuries. Obviously, Charbonnet's out. Looks like tight end or another fullback, Robbie Outs is listed as questionable. Linebacker Chad Serrata is listed as questionable. Trying to see if there's anybody else on his injury. But other than that, it looks like everybody's is going to play. It looks like, actually, funny enough, another one, looks like Sam Darnold was listed. Let's see. The Seahawks listed Sam Darnold as limited Wednesday on their first injury report of the Super Bowl week. The quarterback has now been limited on all 8 injury reports. Seattle has released since he hurt his oblique January 15th. Darnold said early in practice, his oblique feels really good. Every Seattle player practiced in some capacity, but left tackle Charles Cross was limited with a foot injury. He played with the NFC Championship, and even Worry was limited with an ankle injury. So could play. So, but it seems like all those guys are going to play. That's what I'm just getting from this personally. So let me get back from this, but clearly both teams are clicking. Found the Patriots played in every round.
Patriots injuries.
I thought I went over it when I was talking earlier about Drake Mays, maybe.
Well, I just thought it was funny. So it's got Hunter Henry and Morgan Moses, a lineman and tight end. Got them listed as questionable, and the reason is for rest. Yeah, these motherfuckers are not resting in the Super Bowl. I'm assuming that they rested during the week, and that's why they're saying that.
Yeah.
But I thought that was kind of funny. But Harold Landry's listed as questionable for his knee as well, which Drake May's questionable. I'm not buying that. Drake May's playing. Harold Landry, he's a vet, so I think he's going to tough it out as well. But that might be something interesting to keep your eye on throughout the game if it gets tweaked again or something.
And to be fair, I mean, like that's kind of what I was getting at was Drake May's played in some tough games. this playoff. I mean, he's played in some really physical games. It's that Houston game, man. Like we talked about, Will Anderson was a
Yeah,
a man amongst boys that game, and was
yeah.
causing havoc. I mean, they were all over May the entire game. I think they both had 5 or 6 sacks. So, um,
And
nevertheless, it's been a
once
much
again,
different road than what's that?
no, go ahead.
It's a much different road than what Seattle's had to get here. One being a playoff blowout, and the other one being a shootout with who looked like was the Rams who were going to be in the Super Bowl, but that's not what happened. So we got two teams, few days to go, and I'm going to give my prediction.
Well, one second.
Yeah.
What you just said is something I wanted to ask you before either one of us predicted.
Okay.
Before we predict a winner, do you predict a shootout or a defensive game? Because both these teams have the offense to make it a shootout. Both these teams have the chance to be a defensive game. Or do you just think one team runs off with it? Which that's always a
I
possibility.
wouldn't say maybe like a medium. Like I feel okay. Here's what I think is going to happen.
So over under, yes or no? I guess that'll give me a thing if you think shootout or not. It was 46.5, you said?
I'm going to go under.
24-23 beats it. Just remember that.
Okay. I'm gonna take the under here.
Okay. I'm not mad at it.
But I think Seattle, those numbers that you talked about, those red zone numbers, the sack numbers, pressure rate numbers, the QB hits, they've got the guy who's played the best playoff football at quarterback in this game, Sam Darnold. They got the best receiver, the guy who's about to win Offensive Player of the Year this year. They've got the speedster and Shaheed. They've got the technician and Cooper Cup. Yep. They are superior to the Patriots in so many areas, just personnel wise. I don't think this is a game where you can overcome that. This is a regular season game, maybe, but with 2 weeks to prepare, or I guess, 2 weeks to prepare. I think Seattle wins this one. I'm feeling a 24-10 kind of victory. The way that the Pats offense is played, the weather, again, I've said it probably 500 times, so I'm sorry for repeating myself. The weather has played a huge impact in that, but I don't think that this is the game where they're going to find it clicking. It's not going to be in the Super Bowl against a juggernaut like this. We're going to watch Sam Darnold. Again, the Jets get the last laugh because they drafted him to beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. That's dark hours 030 Jets incognito mission. It's drafting Sam Darnold to beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Well, they drafted him hopefully to beat him in the division first.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, funny enough, our good friend Jace, I was talking to him the other day at work, and he brought up a really compelling point that I didn't think about. All the coaches that have coached in the playoffs that have gotten head coaches jobs have lost. Shula. I'm drawing a bunch of blanks here, but I know Shula's won.
Niners, DC.
Jesse Minter. Yeah, Minter, Saleh. And Kubiak it seems like it's a slam dunk to take the Raiders job. So he's had a few interviews, done a lot of interviewing. I feel like maybe he's got those jitters out by now, but that's something that it was kind of really interesting for me to see that.
From what I've seen, he's 100% going to be a head coach next year. It's just about Cardinals or Raiders.
But the Cardinals got Michael LaFleur.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, Michael LaFleur's brother, who was the OC at the Rams.
Oh, I didn't realize they signed someone. Okay, so yeah, Raiders did, because I was listening to I think it was Schefter on the McAfee podcast, or show, whatever. I was listening to it on the podcast. It was last Friday or something, or Thursday maybe, and he was saying he's a slam dunk to be one of those two jobs. It's just which one.
Yeah,
so I didn't realize the Cardinals made a hire.
They hired LaFleur a couple of days ago.
Oh, wait, maybe I did see that. Now you say that.
Yeah. So,
anyway.
But I think Seattle is going to in an ugly way dominate this game. I think it's gonna. I think they're just about as better in every facet. And based on playoff performance, like if you read me the regular season, obviously I'm going to take Drake May over Sam Darnold. But what I've seen in this playoff between both quarterbacks, I've seen one significantly outplay the other, and the other is also on a better team. So I think the New England schedule Patriots, led by Drake Maybe, are going to meet their demise. Also, funny enough, two two quarterbacks. There have been two quarterbacks in NFL history start Super Bowls with the initials DM, and they both lost. And Donovan McNabb and Dan Marino.
Call it
Also,
what you will.
no quarterback with less than 5 letters in their name has lost the Super Bowl.
I have seen. I think y'all said that in the chat. Those two crazy ass stats.
But then again, hold on. Are we calling him Drake Maybe? Because the Drake Maybe's 5 letters.
Now we're in a dilemma.
Yeah. So, but yes, give me the Seahawks. I'm thinking a 24-10 game.
I do not hate that score. Everything that I have said, like you said, these defensive stats for the Seahawks, man. Because when I see this game, my initial thought is Seahawks defense. Like that is exactly what comes to mind. Like this defense has been so damn good. This defense was good enough to slow down or stop. They didn't slow them down. This defense was good enough to stop the 49ers in back-to-back games. And then they not only did they stop them, it was a perfect scenario. Sam Darnold's got an oblique bothering him. Oh, that's okay, Sam Darnold. You only got to throw for 100 yards. Our defense will take care of it. We'll give you the short field all game. You know, Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet will go crazy until Charbonnet gets hurt. Like, it's – I mean, the Seahawks really did. They beat the Niners to get home field advantage. They beat the brakes off the Niners again to be able to rehab injured Sam Darnold. And then Sam Darnold follows that up by beating the Rams, who have been a juggernaut all year. And that was just a shootout. And, Seahawks got the better of them. And then you got that momentum going into this Super Bowl game. I think everything points to Seattle in this one. And on top of that, so shout out to the Patriots for making this. They started off 1-2, right? So they're 17-3 currently, finished 14-3. They've won 3 playoff games. That means they're on a 16-1 run. Their only loss coming to the Bills, which is probably the only good team they've played, if we're being honest. However, 16-1, they're on a hell of a run. They're due to lose. So that's why I think that's another sign that kind of points to the Seahawks. So I think you said Seahawks have rattled off like 9 straight, including playoffs.
Including playoffs.
Yeah. So Seahawks are also rolling. Don't get me wrong. So you could technically say the same thing. They're due for a loss. I just think they're too deep. They're too deep on offense. I think JSN, Cooper Kupp, like you were saying, you got Shaheed, a deep threat. You got Kenneth Walker. Sam Darnold played out of his mind last game. Everything to me points to them, and obviously defense. I've talked about a ton on this episode. So I think the Seahawks get it done. I'm not mad at the 24-10 prediction. I could also see like a 35-13. I could see that big of a difference. I could also see like a 35-21 to 24-27. Like I could see it being somewhat close. The Seahawks runs off in the fourth.
Yeah.
I really could see this game going a lot of ways. And I mean, that's a good thing. It's a Super Bowl. You don't want to go into a Super Bowl thinking like, this team's got it. I do feel that way about Seattle. But it's like, I think if it ends up being a game where there's 30-plus points scored, I think it's going to be hard for the Patriots to keep up. I just don't. If Seattle's clicking on offense and that Patriots defense is not getting to Sam Darnold and giving him the time to pick them apart, I think Sam Darnold's going to do it because he has the weapons downfield to do it. And on top of that, I don't think the Patriots offense can keep up. I can see the Seahawks winning by 20. I cannot see the Patriots winning by 20. I say that, and that's probably what will happen now that I say that, and I'm like an idiot. But I just feel like offensively, I definitely trusted Seattle's offense more than the Patriots, just because they have limited weapons, it feels. So I'm definitely going Seattle here. At the end of the day, we're football fans. We all hope it's going to be a good game, but I definitely think Seattle takes it in this one.
I do think the Patriots' defense has been clicking enough. If this is a close game, it's probably an ugly offensive game, if I had to guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm – yeah.
I'm not seeing a 34-28, et cetera, one of those scores. I'm seeing like a
17,
maybe
13.
yeah, hopefully not Pat's Rams ugly because
13.
that was egregious.
Yeah.
But so it looks like I mean obviously both leaning Seattle here, and hey they've done enough. But at the end of the day, crazy things happens on this game
Hey,
on the
it's
Super
just
Bowl.
one game,
So
any given Sunday.
yeah, especially this Sunday,
Yeah.
and we get to tune into the Bad Bunny halftime.
Hey, album of the year.
Yeah, that's true.
And
And
there's one,
also,
there's one English word on that whole album. So shout out to Bad Bunny making it happen. And if you're old White, get over it. Fuck
and
off.
there's also meme of the year too. He's got meme of the thing of him going like
Oh yeah. Yeah,
on the
definitely an early candidate for meme of the year when he
yeah
won it. Yeah.
he's won it so far I think. Um, but all right, Logan, you got anything else to add before we get out of here? We've been running for an hour 45, but hey, it's the big game.
Yeah, I would say it's the last one of the season. I'll say this: it's been an honor. We've made it through a season. Obviously, we'll do football. We're going to do the Super Bowl recap. We'll talk more head coach changes. We're going to talk all season moves. We're going to be here. We're not going anywhere. But at the end of the day, this is capping off the final game, final countdown, the checker flag, whatever you want to call it. This is wrapping up this season for sure. So,
Yeah, this is coming around the final turn of Daytona.
hey, you damn right. So I mean, hey, it's been a blast. We're hopefully going to have a Lightning McQueen tongue out finish. It's going to be a close finish, a nice, interesting game. We've all seen blowouts in the Super Bowl. Seahawks, Broncos come to mind. We don't want to see that. we all want to see a close game.
Yeah.
It's a Super Bowl for Christ's sakes. So, just want to say, yeah, wrapping up a season. Went through a full college season. Now we're finished up a full NFL season, and honestly, it's been a blast. So,
Hell yeah, we're just getting started, baby. 35
amen.
episodes, just getting started. So,
Amen to that.
well, appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, we'll be back next week. We're going to be here in the off season, like Logan said. We're not going anywhere. But tap in. Maybe who knows? We're feeling frisky. Maybe could give a live reaction to the Super Bowl. Who knows how this is going to go? Hopefully, it's one of those games where it makes us say, "Hey, we're crazy if we don't go live right now." That would be ideal, right?
Sweet.
But yeah, we're gonna go and get out of here. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Enjoy the last Super Bowl or last football Sunday of this season.
Hey, and if you're still around this deep into the podcast, you're greatly appreciated.
Yes, thank you. All right, we're out of here. Peace, y'all.
Peace.